Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna attempt to finish my TBR in a week. It's currently the 23rd of September, so I have exactly 1 week before September is over, and I'm gonna try to finish my September TBR. So this is my entire September TBR right here, and I actually finished reading 3 of these books. I honestly didn't even do this on purpose. I was just grabbing for whatever I wanted to read at the time, and so I read True Colors by Kristen Hanna, and then I read Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, and then I read Fort Wing, and I realized I was literally just going down the line reading my September TBR, and I was proud of that. I'm halfway through, so I might as well keep it going. Another thing that inspired this is the fact that I rated these 2 books 5 stars and I rated this one 4.75 stars. So maybe if I keep on going, I'll get even more 5-star reads or more 4.5, 4.75 star reads, and that would be absolutely amazing. And honestly, if you look at the 2 stacks, these books are very thick, and I finished these, so hopefully I can get through these really quickly within a week, and I can actually, for once in my life, complete a TBR that I set for myself. The books that still need to be read are Between Friends and Lovers, Alone with You in the Ether, and Post-Traumatic. I feel like this looks easy. I could definitely do this, but there are a couple things holding me back. One, these 2 books look really sad. I have a feeling that these are gonna make me sad, really emotional, so I'm worried about that. I don't wanna be sad right now. So the second thing holding me back is that the last book I read was Fort Wing, and I am so locked into this war right now. I wanna know what happens. I love how this ended, and I immediately wanna go into the next book. I literally ordered the next book in the series like right away the same night, and it just arrived, so that is just gonna be there, and I'm gonna want to read it so bad. And if any of these like don't hold my attention well enough, I'm just gonna drop it and go read Iron Flame, so that's definitely gonna get in the way. And the third thing that could possibly hold me back is that my parents are coming to visit me this week, and they're probably gonna distract me, so I don't know if I'll have enough time to finish 3 of these books, but we will see. So come along with me as I attempt to finish this September TBR. I have hope. I feel like we could do it this time. Starts out in a crazy way. First paragraph, insane. I look like Pippi Longstockings, but I don't know why this feels like an appropriate hairstyle for me to go paint. That's what I'm gonna go do right now. I'm going to a painting class, and I'm pretty sure the theme is like autumn leaves or something, so fall is in full swing. I feel like I'm trying my best to appreciate the fall vibes, but it's like 80 degrees outside, so we'll see how I hold up in this sweater. Although I think we're gonna be there quite late, and it's going to get cooler as the day goes on, so I'm hoping for the best. So it's much later at night, as you could tell by the fact that it's dark, and I just wanted to update before I went to sleep. I haven't really read much. I read like 55 pages. First, let me talk about what the book is about. The book is about a lawyer that lives in New York City. She's a Black Latina woman. She's a lawyer who advocates for patients who are mentally ill, and she just has a lot of her own trauma. She has a lot going on in her own life, the day-to-day life of living in New York City as a Black Latina woman, but also she has so much from her past that is just like constantly weighing on her mind, and it also affects her day-to-day life in a way that she sees the world in such a in such an interesting way, where like she would be on the train and just riding the train is such a simple task, but she would struggle with it. Honestly, I get it. She would like see someone on the train and she would think, oh my god, this man is gonna attack me. Stuff like that. She just overthinks and she sees the world in a different way. And I think she's going to go to a family reunion that's going to force her to confront her past. I haven't gotten to that part yet, only read 55 pages, but that's the back of the book does mention like a family reunion, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna have to like confront a lot of the trauma from her past. I am so far not having a pleasant time reading this, and that sounds so crazy for me to say. Like, it's called post-traumatic. It's a book about traumatic things. And when I say I'm not having a pleasant time reading this, I more so mean like I have read books with triggering topics or serious topics that are sad and emotional. Like, I could read those and still have a good time, like actually just reading the book, you know, like the book itself and the characters, I'm just enjoying that part, and maybe I'm like empathizing and I'm feeling what they're feeling, or I'm relating to what they're doing, or I love the way that things are being expressed by the characters. But for this book, I'm kind of just feeling nothing. I'm kind of just dozing off every time I'm reading it, which is kind of unfortunate. I think tomorrow I'm going to start on a different book from my TBR and then maybe come back to this, because I still kind of have hope that it could get better. Like the whole thing about the family reunion, like that could spark something that could make me really start liking the book. I don't know, but I think I just need to pause on this one, go to a different book on my TBR, and try to get through my TBR, because that's the point of this video. And I guess it doesn't really matter which order I do it. So if I come back to this and I finish it, then it would still be a success. But if I don't come back to it, well, we'll see what happens. But I don't know if I'm continuing this tomorrow. Maybe I'll wake up and feel differently about it, but that is how I feel right now, unfortunately. See you tomorrow. that I actually got through a bit of this while I was out, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So this is not a complete fail of a video, because if I wasn't enjoying this, I would just have to give up on trying to finish my TBR. This book is about two people who meet at the Art Institute in Chicago. Aldo is a professor at University of Chicago, and Regan, she works at the art museum. Regan is a counterfeit artist, so she's been in trouble with the law before, and she has court-mandated therapy sessions, and she just lives her life in this like really impulsive way, and she's always thinking about how everything in her day-to-day life could have had a different outcome, and she's just constantly trying to find a more intriguing way of living. After meeting each other, they become very intrigued by each other, and they agree to have 5 conversations only. And they just slowly start spending more time with each other, even though they're only meant to have 5 conversations. And I'm guessing that they're gonna fall in love. I haven't really gotten there yet, but it's like getting there. It's really interesting, and it's holding my attention very well. I've been listening along with it sometimes when I was like out and I was walking around, and then I would like switch back to reading the physical copy. And yeah, it's just been so good, like seeing the way that their minds work. They're very interesting characters. They're very different people, but they seem to see each other in a weird way. I'm on part 3, which is page 117, and this is only like 262 pages, so I am getting through this nicely. I'm happy about that, and it's going really well. I'm enjoying it. So I have a haul of books again. I went into Barnes & Noble for one thing, and it was Sally Rooney's new release, and I left with more things, unfortunately. Barnes & Noble has been slaying with the special editions, and I kind of hate it. Like, it makes me want all of them. They have such good special editions, and they have so many. Some books that I haven't even heard of, I'm like, wait, I kind of want this. They're just all so gorgeous with the sprayed edges, or like the interesting covers. I don't know, they all look amazing. I feel like I'm slowly figuring out what type of books that I want to read during the fall, and I'm just gonna like slowly buy them. I'm not gonna go on like a big fall shopping spree, but I'm gonna slowly get them. Some of them are in this haul, and there are a couple that are well, one of them is new. I think it's called An Academy for Liars. I want to get that. It sounds interesting. And there's this other book called In My Dream I Hold the Knife, or something like that, but it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll just read it there. And I've slowly just been finding more books that I want to read, like The Neighbor Favor, and what else is on my list? You Again. People said that You Again was good, so I think I'm gonna get that. I'll probably just get it on Amazon. I didn't see it in Barnes & Noble, so I'll probably just get it on Amazon. So yeah, my haul. So of course, I originally went in for Sally Rooney's new release. I had no idea that she was having a Barnes & Noble exclusive. Like, that is unheard of for Sally Rooney. I know the more popular an author gets, they get their books released in hardcover first and then in paperback later on, because they know that they're diehard fans like myself who will go to the store on release day. But I literally saw this like last night, because I was thinking about ordering it on Amazon, the normal one, which is like the yellow instead of orange, and then I saw Barnes & Noble had an exclusive, and if it was just the cover, I wouldn't care. I actually think I like the yellow more, but this says it has exclusive content. I think there's a short story in this, so I was like, yeah, I want to read literally every word Sally Rooney has ever written. If she wants to send me her drafts, she can send them my way. Honestly, I'll read all of them. So I immediately went to go pick this up, and this is what I was meant to get. This is the only thing I was meant to get, but I got other things. Is this her longest book? Yeah, I think it is. Or it might just be the exclusive content at the back, but it's so cute. The next book that I got is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers. This is another anticipated release of mine, because I actually wanted to read this over the summer, and then I just never got around to it. I just never got around to buying it because it wasn't out in the US yet, and I would have had to order it from Blackwell's. But it's finally out in the US, and I saw that this version was signed, and I was like, I'll just buy it here. Was just a couple more dollars than on Amazon, and the fact that it was signed, I was like, sure, I'll get this. I kind of hate the fact that I'm starting to really love hardcovers. Literally, when did this happen? I used to hate hardcovers, and now I'm starting to like them. They are so expensive, so this cannot continue. But these are obviously new releases that I am anticipating, and they're not out in paperback yet, and I want to read them this fall. And also the fact that this was signed, I justified it. Thank you, Coco. The last thing that I got is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Mascalco. Throne of the Fallen. I didn't read Kingdom of the Wicked, that series, but I heard you didn't have to read that one. It's gonna slightly spoil it, and I'm fine with that. It's like, I read Once Upon a Broken Heart without reading the Caraval series, and I was fine with it. I think I'll be fine. A lot of people say that you'll be good reading it. It's just gonna spoil things slightly, so I'm excited to read this fall. I feel like Fourth Wing, like, really, it opened something in me when it comes to fantasy, and everyone has been telling me to continue the Actar series. I want to. If I'm like still into fantasy after reading all on my shelf, I'll even go into Throne of Glass. I'm open to it. I kind of do hate reading the first book in series when the others aren't out yet though, but it's okay. Another Barnes & Noble exclusive that's just so gorgeous. They need to stop. It's bad. Iron Flame is in here because I ordered it immediately after finishing Fort Wing because I loved it so much. I love the way that it ended, and I needed to know what happened. And I've been just leaving this box unopened because I'm like, if I see Iron Flame, I'm gonna want to start it immediately. But I'm trying to finish my TBR, so. But now that I'm like into the book that I'm reading, I think I have more self-control. Oh, the other book that I got was The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I think this will be great for like spooky season. This is literally going to be the only mystery on my shelf. Like, I don't have any more, because really the only mysteries that I read are like Frida McFadden, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I don't think I'll ever buy a physical Frida McFadden book unless she stops putting them on there. Then maybe, but they're all on there. So again, I've been really loving the hardcovers, which is, it's bad because they're expensive. Oh my, I did not know that this was that thick. Oh my god. But I'm ready to get into it because we left off in an insane place. I'm kind of worried though because some people did find this disappointing, but I always say that if you enjoy a series and then you have to wait a whole year for the next book to come out, you're bound to be disappointed. Like, or just like waiting for a year on a cliffhanger, something's gonna let you down. Like, you spent 365 days anticipating this book. It's not gonna be perfect. Like, it I don't know. I always feel like waiting for the next book in a series will always be a letdown. But when you just go into it right away, like I will be doing, like, it's easier for me to be impressed by it. And I hope I love it because I'm really into this world. I'm really into it right now. The font is tiny and this is huge. When I read this, I'm just gonna block out the entire world. This is my haul. Lots of hardcover books. I've recently reorganized my shelf and now I have to find a place for all of these. Discussion that they keep having in their conversations about bees and hexagons, and I'm not even going to try to like explain it, but it's a part of the bigger picture. Also, I'm pretty sure I said that Aldo was a professor, and he is actually like a TA or something of the sort, but he teaches students math at University of Chicago, like theoretical math, the hard type of math. I'm actually gonna go to the store right now to get, like, it's so early in the morning, and I'm gonna go to the store to get chai because I want to make a dirty chai latte. Something about that sounds so good to me. Also, fall drinks are the best. Like, there's so much variety. I mean, for the rest of the year, I've been just drinking matcha, and I don't know, it just doesn't hit for me anymore. I decided to get one yesterday because I was at a cafe and I'm like, they'll do it better than I do. It was fine. I should have gotten a coffee. I got a croissant instead because it just looked good, and I think I'll just have this for breakfast because I'm lazy. But when I was on my way there, someone on my street is always asking me for directions, and I'm always just like, I don't know either. I always like step back and I'm always looking around like, are they trying to rob me? But they generally just need directions. I'm just like, I don't know either. I haven't been here that long, and yeah, I don't really explore. But then also there was a man when we were waiting in line to cash out. This man like hit me with his cart, and then I moved up and he did it again. If I had to reply to every person in New York that pisses me off, I think I would be in an insane asylum by now. Because why are you doing that so early in the morning? I just realized that I don't have milk, and I was just at the grocery store. I'm not having a good day. I guess I'll just make coffee with creamer. I really wanted that, but I can't have this without milk. I hate this. I feel like everything's telling me to go back to bed right now. The weather is telling me to go back to bed. Everything just happened. So I just got home from dinner with my parents, and I was reading the last bits of this on the train ride there, and I felt myself like getting emotional, so I stopped because that's embarrassing. I literally only have like 14 pages of this left, and I could have easily finished it on the train ride, but I didn't like where it was going, so I needed to stop, and I'm about to finish it here in bed where I could cry in peace and alone. This book is written so beautifully, and I can't believe how much happened in only 262 pages. Like, it took me on a roller coaster, and I just did not expect that. I of course have so many things in here underlined, and just the way that they speak, I kind of feel like on one hand I would love to meet people like this. I would probably hate them within a year, but I would love to meet someone specifically like Regan. I think I would love Aldo no matter what. He is so precious, but Regan is, she's just such an interesting character, and this book is so character driven, and sometimes that works for me and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for it, but this time it absolutely worked for me, and I was just loving this the entire time. One of my favorite parts is when Regan said that she first knew she loved him during their first fight. It's because everyone else is usually so dismissive of her feelings, and he was just completely different and hearing her out, and it wasn't like he just wanted her to like go, or he just wanted to shut her up. He wanted to like fully talk through it with her and actually have the argument, and of course he wanted her to stay, and it was just the way that it was written, the way that it was explained and described. I loved that part. I really recommend listening to the audiobook along with reading it. Like, I wouldn't recommend just listening to the audiobook alone, even though it's actually a really good audiobook and I feel like the voices are amazing and the pacing is like so good, but listening along with reading it, I don't know, I just felt so engaged, and like literally nothing could distract me from reading this book. I was having a great time and I read it so quickly. The only thing holding me back is the fact that I was kind of busy yesterday, and then my parents came to visit, and I just always wanted to pick this up. I'm gonna go finish the last 15 pages, and I hope it doesn't break me. I'll tell you my final rating when I'm done completely. I don't know what could change in like 14, 15 pages, but it's looking like a 5-star for now. I'm gonna be hanging out with my family again today, so I don't know how much of this I'm gonna get to read, but I'm actually really excited to read this, so maybe here and there in between things, I'll be picking it up. Just got back from, we were at a mall and we ate and everything, and I had no intentions of buying anything, but my sister saw these shoes and I felt like I needed them. These remind me of the pink Sambas that, I don't know, I've always liked them, but I never even thought about getting them. But this was in the kids section, so it was literally like $45, and I was like, I need it. We also saw these blue ones. They were so cute. They're like baby blue, light blue, whatever, blue and white. Those are really nice, and I think my sister is gonna go back and get them. Maybe. I kind of want them too, honestly. But I really love these, and they're more for spring, but I will be wearing them all fall. I know I said that my fall shopping was over, but now it's over. Oh, I forgot to say that I read one chapter of this in the car, which really isn't a lot, but I really enjoyed the one chapter, and I like the way that it's written. I think this is gonna be really good. Experiences of what she was experiencing just in the first chapter alone was like, yeah, relatable. I didn't continue this book at all, just read the one chapter, and I was rotting in bed last night because, I don't know, I just got into a mood where I just needed hours to rot and then go to sleep. I hate the fact that the weather affects my mood this much. Based on the mood that I'm in, I feel like I'm not going to finish Post-Traumatic, which was the first book that I started in this vlog. I'm actually enjoying this so far. The one chapter that I did read, I enjoyed it, and I'm actually excited to read it, but my moodiness is not allowing me to, so I can't imagine going into a book that I don't even want to read. So that probably isn't happening. We'll see if I get through this. I still have like 3 more days in the month, or maybe 2. I don't even know what day it is. But these are more fall things that I got. And I got the pretzels again because they're really good. So I didn't even see anything before I went to dinner, but I literally got home and then I was being told that we're going to dinner. So I didn't even know. My social battery is so dead. It's rotten. I don't like to socialize. I like to read in my room alone. I feel like I haven't even had time to like clean my room, which it's always a mess because there's just no place to hold anything. I can't wait for the day that I move out of this place. That is gonna be a beautiful day. I feel like now is one of those times that I just have to like stay home for the next 3 days and go nonverbal for like 3 days straight. I am on page 64. So this is basically about a doctor named Josephine, also known as Joe, and she's had this like long-term best friend since college. His name is Ezra, and she's been in love with him, but he doesn't like return the feelings. And so they kind of like have, literally in the first chapter, this is not a spoiler, they kind of have not really a fight about it. It's just kind of put out there that she is in love with him. She likes him in a romantic way and he doesn't feel the same way. So it makes things awkward. Then she meets Mal, also known as Malcolm, a very successful author, and he just seems like the sweetest person ever. They start hanging out. I haven't gotten to any part where they're like dating yet, but we could see that that's where it's going, obviously. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some kind of love triangle. Like, I'm pretty sure Ezra's gonna, I mean, this is just me guessing, so no spoilers, but I am pretty sure Ezra's gonna come back and there's gonna be some sort of love triangle. Like, I'm literally just guessing that based off of the cover. This is Mal, and this is Ezra, and this is Joe. And did I mention that she's a doctor and she's also a social media influencer? Like, she's not currently practicing medicine. I'm pretty sure she's doing something else in the medical field, but it's what she like went to school for and everything. She's just not currently practicing, and she's more so getting her income from doing social media. I love her character so far, and I love how everything is being played out. I love the way that it's written. I think this is going to be a really good book. I mean, I have so much high praise for it. Only 64 pages in, so I hope it doesn't disappoint me, but it's going well. That's all I have to say. I think the reason why I have such high praise for it is because if it can keep my attention through everything that I'm like doing right now and like being busy and hanging out with people, that to me is a great sign that it's a good book. And yeah, I constantly am just wanting to pick it up. So I think this vlog started off good, or at least happy, but I feel like I've been miserable for the last 3 days. And so the vlog is probably going to become choppy. I have to see when I edit it, but I'm pretty sure it was going smoothly, and then it's just going to become choppy at the end because I had lots of things to do and I was also miserable. I don't want to pick up the vlog and just spread negativity, but at the same time, I guess I'm just being transparent, and that's just what it is. I got my ID in the mail. I went to the DMV in the last vlog, and I was talking about my experience there. It wasn't the best, but my ID finally came in the mail, and I think it's so weird that New York, you have to like wait for it in the mail. In Florida, you just like get it there on the spot. I'm pretty sure a lot of other states, you just get it there too. I don't know. It's weird. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know how well you could see that. Anyway, I think I'm finally going to continue reading, because you see the thing, I'm not in a reading slump by any means. Every time I want to pick up a book, I easily pick up the book and read it, and I read it very quickly, and I'm enjoying everything that I'm reading. But it's just when things go wrong in my real life, I just want to lay in bed and rot. I don't want to use my brain. And also, like, if something's going wrong in my real life, I'm gonna like be sitting there thinking about it. Like, I'm gonna read a sentence and then my mind is just gonna go back to it. So tortilla chips are leaves. That's the cutest thing ever. It's simple things like this that get me into the fall mood. Are you joking? Oh, that is so cute. Anyway, I was sitting here reading for a little bit. I'm now on page 133. I have no idea why I stopped like in the middle and not like on the end of a chapter. Maybe I'm on page 132. I actually don't even know one of these random pages. So I mentioned before that the female main character of this book, Jo, is a social media influencer along with a general physician. And I love the way that she's being portrayed in this book. I feel like sometimes influencers in books can just come off as so shallow. And I mean, I guess in other books that's like driving a point home. But instead, in this book, it's portrayed more so as a tool for information and ways that she can help people, because she acknowledges the fact that in this day and age, people get information the most from social media, which we're probably terrible for that, but it's true. Like, there's literally this joke that my friend says. She doesn't say, let me Google it. She says, let me TikTok it. Like, she will trust TikTok results more than Google any day. So it's just a known fact that a lot of people are getting their information from social media, and it's portrayed in this book as like a helpful tool instead of this like cringy thing that shallow people use. So the beginning of this book, which is basically setting up the book, I mentioned that her best friend Ezra, she is in a fight with because she kind of confessed her love for him and it just wasn't returned. And so I wouldn't say it's a fight, but they're not on speaking terms at the moment. They're not seeing each other. She just needs her space and she's spending so much time with Malcolm. So based on that fact, Ezra kind of hasn't really been in the story. Like, she kind of recalls some memories with him and then he like pops in, but other than that, he's not really in the story, which I didn't expect. I expected to get point of views from him. I expected it to be all three of them like equally, but it's mostly, well, so far anyway, it's only Joe and Malcolm's point of views, which I'm okay with, but I just didn't expect that. I really expected to get way more of Ezra. It's definitely more so focused on Joe and Malcolm right now, so that's great. I love it so far because Malcolm is seriously one of the best characters I've read in a while, and I also love Joe. Ezra, a little part of me is still rooting for him, but I don't know, however it ends, I think I'll be happy because I really do like them all. Although there were some moments where Ezra like had some red flags here and there. I think it's just like if they end up together after all that time, like to me the history is like attractive and that's the only reason that I would really want them to end up together. But yeah, this goes so much more deeper than just a romance book though. Malcolm is such a reserved person and he gets a little anxious and he just has his own quirks and personality that I think a lot of people would find relatable. And then also Joe has so many issues. She's struggling with depression and she's also had a really bad relationship with her mother for most of her life, and she kind of just opened up about that with Malcolm. And so I love the aspect of having more depth to the characters than just like a frilly romance book. So I'm really enjoying that. There's also this really like subtle thing that makes me chuckle in this book. Her social media posts, I think it's like her Instagram posts are described, it would say like what the pictures of and what she captioned it and everything, and under it it would be like Ezra and 60,000 other people liked this post. And then like it would show that for most of her posts except for the ones where Malcolm is in the post, and I just think that that's so funny. It's such a like tiny thing to notice, but I find it kind of funny. I am literally only 132 pages into this and I feel like I've already gone through a lot with the characters and I love that. I'm having a great time reading it, especially now that I can actually just finally sit down and focus on it. So I finished Between Friends and Lovers, and just to pick up where I left off with reviewing it, Jo is she's so cynical when it comes to love, and then Mal is like the complete opposite. He's like such a romantic, and I feel like they balance each other out well, but also there's so many times in this that I felt bad for Mal, but at the same time I related to Jo so much where she would like get depressed and disappear. Like she would have her moments where she just needed to be away from everyone. She couldn't talk to people. She just needed to like be in her room. And I feel like Mal was so understanding of that, and they ended up working so well together, but like to get there, it was rough on Mal's part because obviously he's perfect. He's just doing everything so right, and sometimes the communication was a little off, but at the same time, as soon as they did communicate, like it was perfect. It was more so just Jo kind of, as I said, getting depressed, staying in her room, rotting. So the way that Mal cares for her is so like sweet, and everything that like went on throughout the second half of the book I can't really talk about. I feel like it's just such a huge spoiler, but it really gave us a chance to like see the male main character in such a different light. Like if you love Abby Jimenez and her male main characters, I feel like you would love this book, because I feel like something Abby Jimenez is known for is the acts of service kings, and Malcolm is definitely one of those. I love the writing of this book, the characters, the representation, everything was just such a breath of fresh air. It just felt new, never been done before, and I well, I've never read it before, like read anything like this before, and I absolutely loved it. And I feel like everyone should go read this. It's great. I am giving this 5 stars. This is literally my 4th 5-star read in a row. Maybe I should follow my TBR more. I went through summer not really getting any 5 stars, and honestly, I feel like that happens every summer. I'm always either in a reading slump or I'm hating everything that I'm reading. So, and September is when it usually picks back up and I start loving reading again. So 4 5-star reads in a row. So it's currently the 30th of September, and the question, did I finish my TBR? No. As I said earlier, I was not going to continue post-traumatic because, I don't know, I feel like it was traumatizing me a little bit. I got 55 pages into it, never looked at it again, probably never will. I'm gonna return this to the library. I read literally everything else on my TBR, and I think I was like going in order of how I chose them in that video too. Like I read True Colors by Kristen Hanna, and then I read Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, and then I read Fourth Wing, and then I read Alone with You in the Ether by Olive B. Blake. Well, I attempted to read post-traumatic. And then I read Between Friends and Lovers. All 4 of these books were 5-star reads for me, so even though I didn't finish my TBR, this was still such a successful reading month for me, and I was having a time, clearly. By the way, this is a 4.75 stars, so not even that far off. I seriously was having the best reading month ever. I basically just gave you my reading wrap-up, but I'll make one anyway. But to recap the 2 books that I read in this vlog, 5 stars, 5 stars. Lovely time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got to this point in the video, comment any autumn leaves or a pumpkin or a candle, any kind of autumn fall emoji, because I feel like I'm really in the mood right now and it's getting very cool outside. I'm really feeling the fall vibes this year more than ever, so comment any one of those emojis if you got to this point in the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!